Kofi with another Beachside Banter with B episode. Today we are here with Kofi Maafo, who is the founder of Bloom Bar over in Accra, Ghana. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right. I'm a co-founder.
Perfect.
I have a business partner.
Oh, okay. Co-founder of. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kofi, if you want to go ahead, introduce yourself, let everybody know what you're about, and kind of tell us about your business.
Okay, so my name is Kofi Maafo. The full name is AJ Maafo, which is Kofi AJ Maafo. Born and raised in Accra, Ghana. Spent a lot of my time doing business from the age of 19. I started very early in my life as an entrepreneur. I've had the opportunity to run through a number of industries, and had also the opportunity, I would say, to try and fail at quite a number of businesses where I've been able to learn all the needed lessons to be able to elevate, myself at every point in time to get to where I am today. Being able to run through different industries from agriculture to mining to food supply. I'm also in sports as well. It's been a very interesting journey. Being in hospitality, which is very diverse from other things that I have mentioned. There seems to be some connection in there, and it is mostly how focused I am in how I do things, and when I set my mind to something, I go for it.
Oh, I
Um,
love that. That's great.
Yeah, so yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And I am currently the CEO of Blue Chip Hospitality, which is parent company that owns Boom Bar in Atlanta and Boom Bar in Ghana.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. So, can you share some initial challenges that you had in starting your business?
Yeah, for the hospitality business, with the focus on Bloom Bar here, I would say the challenges were very unique. And I say that because for the first challenge that we faced setting this business up in Ghana, it was more about fighting the mindset about the type of business at the time. And I say this because it was not a very encouraging ground for a graduate from university who has studied, you know, doctor economics or whatever to say they're going out to build a bar to sell drinks and food. Where I'm from, it is the business has been in existence for a long time, but majority do not go into that field of work because of how it was perceived. So it wasn't really a prestigious job to do. So at the time, that was one of the major challenges to go into because of the perception about it. Raising funds for such a business is can prove very difficult. People would not just buy into your idea until you had something unique to offer, until they saw the results of what you were doing. Fighting that perception and having to work with my business partner alone to prove a point that it can be done and it can be respected was one of the major challenges that we faced in running this business.
Yeah, I could totally see that. So how did you kind of overcome that? Were you just like, "Hey, no, this is gonna happen. You're whether you like it or not," or how did you go about that?
We stuck to our guns. We
Okay.
believed in what we were doing. We believed we had something laudable because we had done our research. We had spent a lot of time as consumers in that space for some time. We were at a point in time constantly, out partying and enjoying what was nightlife. And as consumers in the space, we could identify what was missing. In being a previous consumer to being a service provider, it helped us to identify the opportunities and the lapses. So we kind of capitalized on that when we were going into the space. We were very thorough. We did our research, and then we were far away from the term mediocrity. Because for you to prove a point to people that did not believe, you had to be above standard. We were very intentional in curating the concept. We were very intentional in being professional about it. And it went a very long way to get them to become believers of, changing the phase and perception about being a bar owner in the space in Ghana. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, so it does sound like it was a bit of a challenge, but I love that. So I am one of those people who I do things out of spite. So if somebody tells me I can't do it, that just makes me want to do it more. So
Yeah.
I love that. That's kind of the, the vibe that I'm getting from this is kind of, you were like, no, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do it, whether you want me to or not. And now you've got this huge success, which I love. So how did you go about incorporating like the West African culture into Bloom Bar and like the cuisine and that sort of thing?
So, I mean, we are originally from West Africa, to be
Hmm.
specific, Ghana. We have always been authentic to our core audience where we were based. When we say a culture is very unique in every side of the world. For how authentic we are, we just stick to the modern idea of an African. And I say modern because culture has changed and has been influenced over the years. You have everyone's culture is kind of watered down because of setting influences from other cultures because of the internet and all of that. So I would say culture hasn't changed. I wouldn't say watered down. It's adapted to modern times, right? When we were doing our concept in Ghana and the opportunity came to come to the United States, we've kept it authentic in the sense that the kind of ingredients and the kind of food that we are serving is not very far off from what you might eat every day, but we have brought in certain spices or a twist to the kind of cuisine that is being cooked in the kitchen. So if you were having your steak all the time and it's just been buttered up and just a chef will put his secret recipe in there to give it a unique taste, all we are also doing is just giving it that unique ingredient from back home.
Yeah.
The base is always the same. Obviously, it's the same protein, the same seafood, but the ingredients that we are bringing in is from West Africa. So that is
Okay.
what is influencing the taste that we are offering in the cuisine that is being served in the space.
That's
So that is where
awesome.
the twist is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, gosh, brought me on to food. Food is my absolute favorite topic. Uh, what kind of dishes am I looking for? So you said steak. What kind of ingredient? Or I don't know if you obviously don't want to tell me your secret ingredients, so that's fine. But are we talking like spicy? Is it more sweet? What kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so our palate is, the palate from West Africa is often very spicy. Our flavors are
Hmm.
quite bold, and I would love to say, in these times, a lot of people are becoming food adventurous. Everybody is kind of looking for something new. People are tired of having the same old thing over and over and over again. Our cuisine gives you different, let me say, the menu has about 20 tapas. Yes. And we are doing small plates because we are also using that as an opportunity to introduce our style of cooking to the market. Having 20 tapas, we've had the opportunity to explore, do our research, and realize that these items on the menu, when presented in minute quantities, would be able to help people build the love for the food. Because then, if I buy this and I don't really enjoy it, I'll probably I wouldn't have wasted too much money on it because it's affordable. Okay.
Right.
But then you can order something, you will find something in there that the base is not too far off from what you eat every day. And then you realize that the spices in there, the dips and everything just add that flavor of West African influence to the food. So we call it elevated West African cuisine.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm so hungry right now. It all sounds so good. I love spicy. I have a Hispanic descent, so for whatever reason, I've been able to tolerate spice my whole life.
Mm.
My husband, on the other hand, doesn't do spice as well as I do. So
Yeah.
I'm usually like, oh look, yeah. He's like, oh, nope, not trying that. So I think this would be right up my alley. I'm super excited about it.
Beautiful.
How do you ensure that Bloom Bar provides the authentic experience for locals as well as tourists? Like how do you make sure, is there decorations inside that bring that to, or
So let me just give you a brief of how I perceive hospitality, my business partner and I. Now,
Mhm.
we we see what we do as a stage, and a stage where every day we are performing, right? For you to come into our world where we are able to tell you our story, our way, that is the authenticity. If you are driving in town and you know that you are in Atlanta Buckhead, you feel you're in Atlanta Buckhead because of how it's set up. So the way we have set up our space, as soon as you walk into the space, we want you to feel like you are about to experience a story. We have a motto we are using saying, we say, great stories untold for you to tell. And when you come into this space, you will be immediately transported into our world where we are telling a story, but it is your story to tell with the experience we are giving you. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, with the kind of food, the kind of music, the way it's served, the way we speak to you, the options of even wine, which is, we have South African wine here. There are certain things in the space that highlight West African art. Okay, so you can see all these things in here, but it's given in a very modern setting because often there is a perception about back in the day when there was no internet, there's a certain perception that was created on media how Africa is, and having the opportunity to be here today with internet and everybody's now seeing that it is well developed. It is a beautiful space.
Right.
We as the modern African, given the opportunity, are creating a space that wraps you into a modern African experience. Okay, so that is us in a nutshell. The atmosphere will
Yeah.
sell it, the music will sell it, the food will sell it, and you can tell that story your way.
That's so cool. So, it's in Atlanta, right? Is that
It
what you
is in
said?
Atlanta,
Yes,
Buckhead.
so
Yeah.
cool. Is it close to the airport? Because I always have a long layover in
No, it's
Atlanta.
not close to the
Oh,
airport, but
dang it.
it's not too far from the airport. It's about 35 minutes from the airport. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
I can still probably make that happen. That's
yeah.
awesome. So, when I go there, I'm basically gonna walk into West Africa. That's amazing to me. I think that's really cool. Like one of my favorite parts about traveling and learning about other cultures is just interacting and seeing music. I love hearing other music. I love eating food that is not American. All of that. So I feel like this you're really selling the space to me. That's for sure. It sounds awesome. What inspired you to move from Africa to the US and why Atlanta?
The inspiration is always on the fact that as a serial entrepreneur, I'm always looking for the opportunity to grow. We've been working in Ghana for 7 years. And for 7 years, we've had the opportunity to build a brand that has outgrown the market. We've been able to accomplish a lot in the space, and we've hit the point where we felt like we could take what we are offering to the rest of the world in America. And we know the system, we know the people, we understand it. So there is that connection to America. But Atlanta, to be specific, because one, there is a support community here. This is where in our research it made a lot of business sense to get our feet wet and get into the system because Atlanta provided not just the support system but also the grounds for businesses to succeed in terms of the amount of money you will put in and the likely returns to make. So Atlanta in our
Gotcha.
research made a lot of sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I do feel like it sort of fits in because there is a lot of restaurants and stuff in Atlanta that are cultural. They're not just, straight up American food. So I get where that would kind of play into it. So yeah, that's an awesome choice. St. Louis, if you're ever thinking about another one, St. Louis also has a lot of cultural type foods as well. So,
Okay.
you know. So what are your goals and expectations for this new location? Do you expect it to grow really quickly? Do you think that it's going to kind of have a slow pace growth?
In hospitality, you have the opportunity to always tell an amazing story every day. Business wise, the goal is obviously to succeed at what we are doing here and make impact and also be able to stamp the name Bloom Bar in Atlanta for it to become a staple. That is a goal. But
Okay.
we are also hoping that we could make that kind of impact where the business can grow beyond the borders of Georgia. So
Yeah.
we hope that getting things done right and being able to, succeed here in Atlanta, we can grow and have the opportunity to have everyone in every state that is, per research will make a lot of sense for the business experience Bloom Bar right in their state. So
Yeah, that
that is the goal and that's the dream for what we are doing.
totally makes sense. Yeah. So, can you tell us a really fun story that you've had so far, like in the opening, or just something that sticks out to you?
It's been a lot more stress than fun,
Oh
but
no.
yeah, but let me see. We've had some good times. I think the fun part of this for me has been doing the research. I had the opportunity to experience quite a number of restaurants. We visit a lot of restaurants, and then I have the opportunity to. I'm a foodie, so having the chance to just use work to go out and drink and experience the culture and experience the people in Atlanta, and also falling in love with the city is what I've really found fun about Atlanta. It's one of the most standout experiences for me because the city offers a very unique it has a very unique offering in the sense that you have very different cultures and ideas being sold through hospitality, and everyone has a unique way of selling it. So you have the opportunity to express to experience different things in Atlanta, Georgia, and that has been fun for me.
Atlanta's a fun town. I know a lot of people don't really care for it too much, but I always have fun every time we go there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, how do
Yeah.
you stay motivated and inspired to continue like innovating and such in the hospitality industry?
Number one, I think, is the love.
Okay.
I live and breathe hospitality. To be honest, I'm like I said, I see it as a way of life. I'm inspired every day because every time someone walks into our space, they experience what we have set up for them to experience what they will never feel when they leave the space. Now,
Right.
when people come in here and they are happy, it's something I live for. Like, I love to entertain people. So
Okay.
when you come into my space and we have, like I said, it's a stage, and every day we are performing here. I mean, the bartenders are performing, they're shaking the drinks. It's the same thing over and over for new customers or guests that come into the space, right? But being able to stage this every day is so beautiful and inspiring when people come in here and they experience what you have set up, what you have built step by step, and being very deliberate. And people leave happily with what you are offering them. It's just joyous for me. So that
Yeah.
keeps me inspired. Once people are leaving and the reviews are good, people come in and they're happy with the food, I feel accomplished that we have built something to leave that smile on their face. So that is what keeps me inspired.
That's awesome. You're so prideful and so passionate, and I love every bit of it. I think it's
Thank
awesome. I
you.
can like feel it right now through the video. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So do you have future plans for the Bloom Bar? Are you going to be expanding more into the US, or are you just going to stick with these two locations for now?
No, like I said earlier, we that's our when I said the goals, I was saying that given the opportunity, once this is successful,
Hmm.
we intend to expand. We intend to
Yeah.
expand to multiple cities that can embrace this concept and be a destination for everyone in as many cities as possible.
Do you think you'll step outside of the US, maybe like to the Caribbean or someplace along those lines?
Why not?
Okay.
If the opportunity presents itself and we are selling
Yes.
something that is laudable, and obviously there's a market that makes sense to embrace your concept, growth
Mhm.
is beautiful. So I'll be
Yeah.
more than happy to go anywhere. Dubai, London, Paris, anywhere. We would love to grow like that. Yeah.
That would be some really cool locations too, and great visual scenery as well. Are there any new projects going on besides this? I know that you said you're a serial entrepreneur, so do you have other side projects going on, or is this where your passion lies? This is all your focus?
I would say my other projects that I'm working on is in the field of sports.
Okay.
So it's not really in hospitality because I'm part-time manager for soccer players. So it's a
Oh,
project we
cool.
work on back home. The whole project started as far back as 2012,
Okay.
where the whole idea was to take young and underprivileged boys who were very passionate about soccer and help them leverage that talent and that potential they have to play that soccer in a on a bigger stage. So we would finance them, we would take care of them, we would take care of their schooling, their education, and then also provide them the opportunity to train with coaches from the West and in to be specific in Europe, that gave them the opportunity to grow or learn from the best, and then also create a platform for them to succeed when they go to Europe. So as it stands now, we have quite a number of boys that we took care of from the ages of 12. Most of them are 20, 18 now and are doing extremely well for their careers in Europe and are providing for their families now. So
That
that
is
is
so
also a
cool.
project I work on the side.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
cool. So you are like just well-rounded all the way around. That's amazing. I love your
excellent.
heart. That's great. Okay, so wow, this has been such a cool conversation. I do have to, it is beachside banter with B, so I
Mhm.
do have to ask, what's your favorite beach that you've been to and why?
My favorite beach is in Porto. It was I was in Porto 3 years ago, and I don't remember the name of the beach. All I know is that it's in Porto, and
Okay, well,
it
we can
was
figure it
just
out.
it's a beach club, but
Oh,
it was just beautiful because of the vast sand that they have, the way the beach club was set up with the music, the ambience. Everything is just so beautiful in Porto. It has quite a number of beach clubs. I mean, if you haven't been, I would
I
ask that you
haven't.
put it on your list of places to check out. They have beautiful beaches in Porto.
Yes, most definitely. All Portugal and Spain are both on my list, so hopefully I'll make it there one day.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So, usually towards the end of every conversation, I give everybody a chance to kind of plug in their business. So, where can everybody find you? Socials and website and such.
Okay, so the website is going up in a week. It's
Mhm.
bloombergglobal.com.
Okay.
Yeah, on the website you can find everything about Bloomberg Atlanta, Bloomberg Ghana would all be on that website. And the Instagram page is Bloomberg ATL on Instagram. So
Okay.
you can follow us there for upcoming information on the page and on the business, everything you need to know.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, and then one last question. What does paradise mean to you?
that's a very deep question.
I know, right? I love it. I love ending with that.
Um, Paradise for me is peace of mind.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, I'm someone that is always on the move. I'm always working, and it's interesting you mentioned the beach because it's my favorite place to be. I like to be at the
Love it.
beach at night with no music, just sitting by the water, listening to the waves, and not thinking about work. And that is just paradise for me when I'm not,
Yes.
yeah, when I'm not thinking of anything and just relaxing by the beach. That for me is peace of mind is paradise.
I agree. It's so relaxing just to hear the ocean sounds. It's something that I could literally just like vibe out to for decades if I could.
Yeah. For
Awesome.
me.
Well, thank you so much for coming. They're showing up and having fun with me. I had this great conversation. Bloom Bar seems like it's going to be really cool. And I feel like my next trip, because I always fly into Atlanta as kind of like my connecting airport. I feel like my next trip, I'm going to leave a couple extra hours in there so I can
We,
experience it. Because,
we can't wait to host you. Just let us
yeah.
know when you're in town, please.
Okay, I definitely will. It sounds awesome. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch and I will talk to you soon. Have a
Have a
great
good day.
one.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks. You too.
All
Bye.
right.
Hey there, beach lovers. That's it for today's episode of Beachside Banter with B. I sure hope you had as much fun as I did. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed the show. You can catch me on all social media platforms at Life, Love, and Travel. And if you've got a question or you just want to stop by and say hi, feel free to slide into my DMs and I'll make sure to get those answered for you. Big thanks to everyone who joined me today and for all of you tuned in. And until next time, enjoy your week.